In this particular video, we are going to be going over the introduction of finding slope of a line. So first you have a line on a graph, and in order to have a line, you need at least 2 points. So before we dive into actually what the line on the graph looks like, there are 2 key concepts that can help you out. The first one is Mr. Slope Guy. So he has an eyebrow with a plus sign for an eye, another eyebrow with a negative sign for an eye. His nose is straight up and down with a U, and then his mouth is straight across with a 0, or you can look at these as his dimples. So this particular eyebrow is going to represent a positive slope, which is why his eye is positive. So this one is positive. This particular eyebrow is going to represent a negative slope, which is why he has a negative sign as an eye. Okay, later, as we're dealing with actually finding the slope of a line, you'll be introduced to an undefined line, which is straight up and down, which is why this one starts with his nose, has a U on it. It's undefined. Okay, you'll be introduced to a fourth type of slope that is a straight horizontal line, and it is 0, which is why his dimples look like the number 0. Okay, second thing that you want to keep in mind whenever you're finding slope of a line is rise up, run out. The video, the music video that was played as an introduction can be found on my website, MissSamsGrade8.Woodley.com, on week 3 of the second 9 weeks. Again, or you can YouTube rise up, run out slope video. Something to remember as you're finding slope is that you always put rise over run. So you're going to do the rise first, over run. You're going to rise up and then run out. So keeping those in mind, we're going to go ahead and take a look at number 1. So as you can see, number 1 on this particular graph, I'll zoom in so you can see that and Mr. Slope Guy at the same time. So looking at number 1, you need to be able to find 2 exact points on the graph. So 2 exact points would mean it would touch all 4 corners. So this particular point touches a 4 corner, this point, and this one. Again, in order to find slope, all you need is 2 points. And the first thing that you want to realize whenever you're looking at a line is to figure out whether it is positive or negative. Right now, we don't need undefined or 0, so I'm going to cover that part up. But you're looking at the line that is already graphed, and you're seeing whether it matches the positive eyebrow or the negative eyebrow. This particular line matches my positive slope line. They're going in the same direction. So this slope starts off being positive. Okay, next you need to find the rise over the run. Okay, so the rise is how much you go up from point to point. So I'm going to connect, I'm basically going to connect one point to the other. So I'm going to go up 1, because you went up 1 square or 1 block. And then next is how much you run to get to the other point. And I'm going to run 1, 2, 3 squares. So my rise is 1, and my run is 3. So 1 over 3 is my slope. Okay, and it was positive. Positive 1 over 3. If you happen to use this point and the last point, your run would end up being, let me do it in 2 different colors. Your run would end up being 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 over 6, which would end up simplifying to 1 over 3. So no matter what 2 points you use, if you correctly count the blocks or the squares as you rise and as you run, you will get to the same slope as if you used 2 different points. Okay, we're going to slide over and look at number 2. So number 2, first you need to figure out whether it's negative or positive. So does this line represent the positive eyebrow or the negative eyebrow? As you can see, this line is going in the same direction as this eyebrow, so its slope is negative. So that's the one thing that you want to write down first as a negative slope. And this helps you remember that you need a negative sign at the very end. The next step is going to be finding 2 exact points on the line. As you can see, this right here is where you kind of see the line goes through 4 corners where it meets. Okay, this one right here is not exactly on the line or on the 4 corners. This one is, and this one. Okay, again, all you need is 2 points. If you have more than 2, that is fine, but all you need to find is 2 points. Next is you need to do rise over run from one point to the other. So let's go ahead and pick this point. I'm going to do my rise first. I'm going to rise up, and then I'm going to run. Again, making sure that you make a vertical and a horizontal line. Okay, then you count the blocks that you rose. So you 1, 2, 3, and then count the blocks that you run. 1, 2. So your slope in this case, again, your rise goes first. I went up 3, and I ran 2. So my slope needs to be negative 3 over 2 as my final answer. Okay, let's try number 3. So on number 3, I need to figure out whether my slope is positive or negative. So which eyebrow does the slope or the line represent? If you read it from left to right, it's going to go in the positive direction or in the up direction. It also matches this eyebrow. So your slope is positive. Okay, next step is going to be finding 2 points on the line, again where it exactly crosses 4 corners. 1, 2, and if you want to find others, there's a third one and a fourth one as well. Okay, again, all you need is 2 points. So I'm going to suggest that you choose the points that are closest to each other, because that would mean that you don't necessarily simplify the fraction that you get. So first you need to rise. I'm going to rise, and then I'm going to run. Okay, in this case, I went up 1, 2 blocks, and I ran 1. So my slope would be 2 over 1. And as we get more comfortable with finding slope, you will also realize that 2 over 1 will simplify to just the number 2, because 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay, on the next one, we're going to look at number 4. Okay, on number 4, you need to figure out first which direction the particular line is going. So if you look at number 4, okay, this line is the same as the negative eyebrow. So the slope happens to be negative. Okay, secondly, you need to figure out whether, you need to find 2 points on the line. So where they cross in all 4 corners. This one has many points. And again, I just want to reiterate that you only need 2. Okay, and then we're going to find 2 points, any 2 points. So on this one, let's just say that I forgot that I need to use, or it's best to use the 2 that are close together. You can still pick any 2 and do rise over run. So I'm going to go from this point to this one. Okay, and then count your rise. 1, 2, 3. And your run. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so when you place your rise over your run, okay, and remember that you said it was negative, you can represent the slope in 2 different ways. One option is negative 3 over 3. Again, I'm using the negative sign because my slope was negative. Or, suddenly I realize that 3 over 3 is in fact 1 whole, so you can write just negative 1. Okay, both options are the same. However, as we dive further into 8th grade math, we will realize that this would be the preferred way to write your slope whenever it is able to be simplified or divided. Okay, best of luck to you and for the rest of the week and the rest of this 9 weeks assignment.